Chapter 4. A certain woman, who was widow of one of the members of a group of prophets, went to speak with Elisha and said, "My husband has died, as you know. He was a man who feared God, the Lord. But now a man to whom he owed money has come to take my 2 sons, that they may be slaves, as payment of the debt. What can I do for you? What do you have in the house?" "I have nothing, except a small jar of oil. Go and ask your neighbors to lend you many empty vessels. Then you and your sons go into the house, close the door, and begin to pour oil into the vessels, and set aside the ones that become full." Then the woman went into the house with the sons, closed the door, took the small jar of oil, and began to pour the oil into the vessels as her sons brought them. When all the vessels were full, she asked if there were any more. "That was the last one," answered one of the sons. Then the oil stopped flowing. She went and told the prophet Elisha. Then he said, "Sell the oil and pay all your debts. There will still be money left for you and your sons to live on." One day Elisha went to the city of Shunem, where a rich woman lived. She invited him for a meal, and from then on, whenever he went to Shunem, Elisha ate in her house. She said to her husband, "I am sure that this man who always comes here is a holy man of God. Let us build a small room on the upper part of the house, and let us put there a bed, a table, a chair, and a lamp, and so when he comes to visit us, he may stay there." One day Elisha returned to Shunem and went up to his room to rest. He told Gehazi, his servant, to call the woman of the house. When she arrived, Elisha said to Gehazi, "Ask what I can do for her to repay all the work she has had in taking care of us. Perhaps she wants me to speak on her behalf to the king or to the commander of the army." But the woman answered, "I have everything I need here among my people." Elisha asked Gehazi, "Then what can I do for her?" "Well, the woman has no children, and her husband is old. Call her here." He called her, and she came and stood at the door. Then Elisha said, "Next year, at this same time, you will carry a son in your arms. Please, do not lie to me, sir. You are a man of God." But just as Elisha had said, the following year, at the appointed time, she gave birth to a son. Some years later, at the time of the harvest, the boy went out to meet his father, who was in the field with the workers who were harvesting. Suddenly he began to shout to his father, "My head, my head." Then the father said to one of the servants, "Take the boy to his mother." The servant carried the boy to the place where the mother was. She held him on her lap until noon, and then he died. Then she carried him to the room of Elisha and laid him on the bed. After that, she went out and closed the door. Then she called her husband and said, "Send a servant with a donkey. I need to go speak with the prophet Elisha. I will return as quickly as I can." "Why are you going to speak with him today? Today's not Sabbath, nor the day of New Moon festival. It does not matter." Then she ordered that the donkey be saddled and commanded the servant, "Make the animal go as fast as you can and only stop when I tell you." And so she went and came to Mount Carmel, where Elisha was. When she was still a little far away, Elisha saw her coming and said to his servant Gehazi, "Look, the woman of Shunem is coming. Run there and ask if everything is well with her husband, and with her son." The woman said to Gehazi that everything was well. But when she came to the place where Elisha was, she knelt before him and held his feet. Gehazi was going to push her away, but Elisha said, "Do not do that. Do you not see that she is very distressed? And the Lord God has not told me anything about this." Then the woman said to Elisha, "Sir, did I ask you for a son? Did I not tell you not to deceive me?" Elisha turned to Gehazi and said, "Get ready, take my staff, and go. Do not stop to greet anyone you meet, and if anyone greets you, do not waste time answering. Go straight and place my staff on the boy." But the woman said to Elisha, "I swear by the Lord God, I swear by the Lord himself, that I will not leave you here." Then Elisha got up and went with her. Gehazi went ahead of them and placed the staff on the boy, but he did not make any sound, nor was there any other sign of life in him. Then Gehazi returned to meet Elisha and said, "Look, the boy did not wake up." When Elisha arrived, he went alone into the room and saw the boy dead on the bed. Then he closed the door and prayed to God, the Lord. After that, he lay on the boy, placing his mouth on his mouth, his eyes on his eyes, and his hands on his hands. When Elisha lay on the boy, the child's body began to grow warm. Elisha got up and walked back and forth in the room. Then he returned and lay again on the boy. Then the boy breathed 7 times and opened his eyes. Then Elisha called Gehazi and ordered him to call the mother. When the woman entered, Elisha said, "Take your son." She fell at Elisha's feet and bowed her face to the ground. Then she took the son and went out. Once, when there was lack of food in that land, Elisha returned to Gilgal. While he was teaching a group of prophets, he told his servant to put a large pot on the fire and make a stew for them. Then one of the prophets went out to the field to gather herbs. He found a vine that bore bitter gourds and gathered as many as he could carry in his cloak. Then he returned, cut the gourds into pieces, and threw them into the pot, not knowing what they were. The stew was served to the men, but as soon as they tasted it, they began to cry out to Elisha, "The stew is poisoned," and they did not want to eat. Then Elisha asked for a little flour, threw it into the pot, and said, "Serve some more stew to everyone." And the stew that was in the pot could now be eaten without danger. Another time, a man came from Baal-shalisha, bringing to Elisha 20 loaves made with the first barley that had been harvested that year, and also some heads of barley still green. Elisha ordered his servant to give that food to the group of prophets. But the servant asked, "Do you think this is enough for 100 men? Give it to them, and they will eat. For the Lord God says that they will eat, and there will still be leftovers." Then the servant gave them the food, and as the Lord had said, they all ate, and there was still some left. Chapter 5. Naaman, the commander of the army of Syria, is very respected and esteemed by the king of his country, because through Naaman, the Lord God had given victory to the army of the Syrians. He was a valiant soldier, but he suffered from a terrible skin disease. In one of their raids against Israel, the Syrians had taken captive a young Israelite girl who became the servant of Naaman's wife. One day the girl said to her mistress, I wish my master would go speak with the prophet who lives in Samaria, for he would cure him of his disease." Then Naaman went to speak with the king and told him what the girl had said. And the king ordered, "Go speak with the king of Israel and deliver this letter to him." Then Naaman left, taking about 350 kilos of silver and about 70 kilos of gold and 10 sets of fine clothes. The letter he carried said this, "This letter is to present Naaman, who is my officer. I want you to cure him." When the king of Israel read the letter, he tore his clothes in fear and exclaimed, "How is it that the king of Syria wants me to cure this man? Does he think that I am God, and that I have the power to give life and take it away? He is looking for a quarrel." Prophet Elisha heard what had happened and sent word to the king. "Why are you so worried? Send this man to come speak with me, and I will show him that there is a prophet in Israel." Then Naaman went with his horses and chariots and stopped at the door of Elisha's house. Elisha sent a servant out to tell him to go wash 7 times in the Jordan River, and so he would be completely cured of his disease. But Naaman became very angry and said, "I thought at least the prophet would come out and speak with me, and that he would pray to thee, Lord his God, and would wave his hand over the sick place and cure me. Besides, are not the rivers Abana and Pharpar in Damascus better than any river in the land of Israel? Could I not wash in them and be cured?" And he went away very furious. Then his servants came to where he was and said, "If the prophet had told you to do something difficult, would you not have done it? Why then can you not go wash as he said and be cured?" Then Naaman went down to the Jordan River, and he dipped himself 7 times as Elisha had said, and he was completely cured. His flesh became firm and healthy like that of a child. Then he returned with all his men to the place where Elisha was and said, "Now I know that in the whole world there is no God except the God of Israel. Please accept a gift from me. I swear by the Lord, the living God whom I serve, that I will not accept any gift." Naaman urged him to accept, but he did not want to. Then Naaman said, "Since you will not accept my gift, then let me take home 2 mules loaded with earth. For from now on, I will not offer sacrifices and burnt offerings to any god except the Lord God. But I would like him to forgive me this one thing, which is the following. When I must accompany my king to the temple of Rimmon, the god of Syria, to worship him, I will have to bow down to him also. May the Lord God forgive me for this. Farewell. Go in peace." When Naaman was already a little far away, Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, began to think, "My master let Naaman go away without receiving anything, should have accepted what the Syrian was offering. Swear by the Lord, the living God, that I will run after him and get something from him." Then Gehazi ran after him. When Naaman saw that a man was running after him, he got down from his chariot and asked, Has something happened?" "No, no, no," answered Gehazi, "but my master sent me to say that just now 2 members of a group of prophets have arrived from the hill country of Ephraim. So he would like you to give him about 30 kilos of silver and 2 sets of fine clothes." "Please, take 60 kilos of silver," said Naaman, and he insisted. Then he put the silver in 2 bags and gave the silver and the 2 sets of fine clothes to 2 of his servants and sent them ahead of Gehazi. When they reached the hill where he lived, Gehazi took the 2 bags and carried them into the house. Then he sent Naaman's servants away. He went into the house again and went to speak with Elisha. "Where have you been?" "I did not go anywhere," answered Gehazi. "My spirit was with you when that man got down from his chariot to speak with you. Was this the time for you to accept money and clothes, and olive and vineyard plantations, sheep and cattle, or male and female servants? Therefore, the disease of Naaman will cling to you, and your descendants will have it forever." When he left there, Gehazi had the disease, and his skin was white as snow.